We are live. Hello, everyone. So
I can lip sync you.
I forgot how many meetings we had already, but so we keep going with our eighth meeting. Thank you. And we have Aleksei from Mishura Games. And so to do a kind of quick review of the reason of having you here. So ViaLab is a
tell me, because
Videogames In Art program from at the Art Academy, and related to the Department of New Media. So the idea came up about questioning the relation of art in different cultural fields and video games. So how video games could influence practices, or how personal research or practices can be driven to, at some point, interactive design, and more especially video games. And so yes, so I think we didn't have much video game developers. I suggest the students to contact you because I remember with the Video Game Museum, in the context of the Video Game Museum, we had different kind of talks, I would say, toward that topic. And I think it is a nice occasion now to have you and to like explore and going to maybe further through your own practice, through maybe some questions that could come from the very beginning or at the end. But maybe first I will let you start from telling us a bit about your practice.
Okay. I'm making a video game right now. Not really with a budget or a company, just independently. It's this one. Camille showed you videos before, right? Okay. So, yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, that's it. And I worked in games before, founded other companies before for games, and worked in comics as well. Just did a bunch of art design. And yeah, that's it. But I thought we had a nice question from there. Exactly. We can kind of continue with that, but I can start with asking a question maybe. Because like, what are we discussing? Art and games, right? Why do you do art?
Why?
Why do you do art? You do some kind of art, right? You've done it before. What's your reasoning? Why would you do it? Like, who cares? I can tell you why I do it, right? I do it because it's free therapy. It's free therapy. It's not free in time.
I think I always see the practice of art as an act of resistance. And
yes,
so I do art. I think mainly because of that.
Okay.
And because I think it's even not. I even don't really know if, for me, it's so obvious. Like, it's not something that I don't do art in reaction on something. Like, it's more like it's a long process. But like what my practice show me through my relation that I have to video games, is that there is like a kind of ambiguity today towards the perception that we have of video games. And I think that one of the main problematic, I think, that is not solved yet, is this, like, how we accept video games as art, as a form of art. And sure. Because of course, like, anyone, like, it can be, it's mostly a personal feeling, but I mean that there is nothing officially that say that video games is the eighth is comics' ninth form of art.
Comics is separate now?
Yes, like
Cool.
I mean, it's considered as like as
Okay,
music,
sure.
as cinema,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah,
sculpture, like is a form,
Sure.
form of art. Video games is not yet like accepted as such, and so there is many explanation for that, but I think it's interesting to. I think it's interesting as well because it's a bit, maybe it's tricky conflict because probably we could compare it to what is art and what is design.
It'll take some time, but we are very close. We are very close. People who are blocking that will die soon, so it's fine.
But okay,
comics were also blocked for a long time.
At the moment, I would say that I will take an example, like one of the biggest institutions that officially have video games in their collection since few years, made acquisitions, is the MoMA.
Sorry?
The MoMA in New York, the Museum of Modern Art. But this collection of video games, so there is like, it's very large. There is a Pong, there is a Sim, there is Flowers, there is Portal. So there is kind of different kind of games, but this is in the Department of Architecture and Interactive Design. So currently, what would define video games, the closest definition we have is, well, first it's entertainment.
I can tell you honestly, I don't know much about that. I'm just listening to you. Now it's your lecture, and I'm just like listening.
Okay. No,
that's fine.
But
because you answered my question already, but you just told me a lot of history of why games are not considered art.
I think you have statements.
You said an active resistance, so that's what I want to focus on, or whatever. It was for me because somewhere in the middle there between drawing and doing comics and working with art, I also drew graffiti and in some embarrassingly bad places, like once on someone's car, it was bad. But anyway. But for me, it's also therapy, because for me, art is people's inner demons that are digested and presented in such a way that can be either a learning experience or something very relatable or something that will tell you you're not alone when you're in a difficult situation, if it can tell that story, right? I'm a big proponent of art, it being art's responsibility to convey the message. That's why I'm not always, maybe, I don't know now, but like 10 years ago, I was definitely not on the same page with how Eka was thinking about art, as art is a thing by itself and you should experience it, everyone should experience it differently. I was always more a proponent of, if art has a message, it should convey it and bring it to as many people as possible. And that would be, to me, like the craft of art, like that I can present it to many people. And of course now, like that's, people play more games than they read books. So if you want that, if you want to do that act of sharing, right? Or taking your demons and all your shit and making something beautiful out of it, right? Then games are definitely one of those options, and that to me defines it as art. They cannot be because like currently when we say games, and the worst thing right now, right, in Estonia they say gaming. Right now there was a whole talk, and they're trying to look at the spectrum of gaming, but that's casino games. That's like saying, oh, let's look at the spectrum of pictures one by one at a frame rate, you know, and then everything, porno, art films, it's all the same then. No, it's just video. But it's not true. There's no gaming. And there's no real definition, right? There's a definition: book, magazine, comic book, whatever, right? There's definition. In movies also, I guess, movies, series, whatever. In games, there's just games. There's genres, but that's already a lower level, I think, of categorization. So yeah, I have a question for you. So you're asking about story, but do you have some story? You don't have to tell what it is, but do you have a story you want to tell in you?
I don't think I have a story I would like to tell right now, but I would definitely like to tell something with narrative in it.
Okay.
And I would like to learn how to build narratives.
Okay, okay, cool. Are you learning something specific right now? Any kind of structure, narrative structure, or?
Not specifically, but I guess it's something I do in my free time more so. Try to build like this sort of simple sci-fi stories with maybe do you know All Tomorrows?
No.
It's a really good sci-fi narrative that has a like a YouTube video explaining it. It's basically just world building.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to me.
Okay. Yeah, world building is cool. I really love world building, right? But the trap you can get into is that you world build so much, and then you let the characters in, and then they're like so constrained by the world building. It's different for different people, right? It was like someone somewhere I heard, maybe in some YouTube video or some kind of lecture, that like if you take like two kind of writers on very opposite spectrums, you can take what was it called? It was called gardeners and something else. But basically, they're writers who like to prepare the world, build their world, and I was like that, and I think I still am like that. And then there are writers like Tarantino or something, who's just like stream of consciousness kind of writing, and they just go and they let the characters explain themselves. When I was working on a comic, for example, I started with my approach, but somewhere in the end it was like a 20-something episodes series, like small series of small digital comic books. And somewhere in the middle, I stopped. I understood, like I got this like mind-blown situation where like the characters were like, I'm gonna say this in my head, and I'm like, okay, like I can't do anything about it, and that was a pretty cool moment, for sure. And but what I mean with world building, the thing there is that it can become like constraints, because I saw people like one of the people I know, they're making a game. They're making a game, and they say we have 1,000 pages of lore or something. A lot of lore, basically. And then when I talk to them about the game, and because for a game, right, so another thing, I'm going to be maybe a bit chaotic. You can stop me and say it's a bit chaotic. But you were asking also from above the movies what's coming, right? And I was talking about that mechanics for sure, because mechanics in games should be at least also a narrative device. For example, like everything really, like in movies and books, there's a main theme that you want to know about or learn about. For example, in this game, the main theme is freedom. So it has to take place in a prison, I think, because that's where I can make that topic the most bright, right? Because it will be contrasted so much against everything else. It's one example. Or in terms of mechanics, I'm making sure that people can approach puzzles how they want. There's not one solution, because also freedom, or how the progression system works. It's always that. So I'm always asking myself, am I straying far away from something? Like there was a very, very popular example of people were talking about Uncharted 2 and this ludonarrative dissonance that everyone's talking about. You heard about it. Ludonarrative dissonance. Okay, cool. I can tell you something that you don't know. The term specifically comes from gameplay and story being in conflict, or presenting a mixed message. For example, in the example used there was Uncharted 2. It's a game that's like Indiana Jones. You shoot a bunch of guys. It's very action kind of movie feel in it. And you shoot a lot of people there. And there's a point there where the main character approaches the villain after killing 300 people, 500, I don't know, and starts lecturing him about death, and you're killing people, you're not thinking about people's life. Motherfucker, you killed 500 people on your way there. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm sorry. So it's good that it's always in games, that can happen, and that happens. And those are just games. But I think games that are really like doing the art thing, right, are games that make sure that what you do in the game and what the story is are very, very, very connected, so they help each other. Something like an RPG game like Persona 3. In Persona 3, you live a school year, and there's a calendar, and there's days, but also, okay, well, spoilers. Then the main character dies in the end. So, it makes the time aspect of it so important in that specific game. There's calendars in other Persona games as well. They're all like school year based, but that one was specifically interesting because it was like a ticking clock, and it was about making connections in the times you have, and it's all about making, the mechanics are to make connections both with enemies and people you meet and stuff like that. So that's a good example. The Uncharted one, of course, is a bad example, because if you're killing so many people, you shouldn't be lecturing other people about death. I went somewhere far away from the original root of the subject that we were talking about, right?
No, you go in.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
can you show us what is your game about? And
Sure. In what way should I show it? Like I have a little presentation I made for publishers that I can go through. Hold on. Yeah, I guess in that way also I can show as an example of how I'm using this particular knowledge. Let me just find the right link. Like I'm trying to. Okay, no, it defaults to this screen for some reason. Okay, well, hold on, give me some time. Presentation. No. What's the short address for the presentations? It's God damn it. I'm losing the mouse. Where's the mouse? Okay, it's here. Intro Immortal. Yeah, I think this is fine. There should be something here. I guess some videos you've seen, right? It's like
I haven't.
combating. You haven't? Okay, cool. I'll show you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll start with the old announcement one. Probably. But the quality is okay.
Fudo the prisoner. Fudo the weak. Death will most
And with the theme of prison, and the main character's helmet is a cage, so, you know, symbolism, I guess. And the whole face on the torso is also like, imagine that your inner saboteur, as RuPaul says, or inner demon, becomes an armor on top of you. And that's also kind of a prison, in that sense. This is old, this is 2 years ago. Also why it's called Immortal, because, well, immortality is a prison from death in some ways, right? If we look at it from that angle. Gameplay, I'll show you quickly. This is 2023 gameplay, where we were mostly developing combat. No, this is newer. Oh, sorry. Where was this one? Q1, there it is. This is the first gameplay trailer that we did. So yeah, the first trailer, I was doing it in 3D software and then rendering and in After Effects compositing. This was when we started to develop the similar visual style in Unreal, and here it's, you know, it's not there yet. It's cool, but it's not like that trailer. And then now, we've, at least in that sense, hold on, what the hell? Q3, okay. 360p. Now that's already in engine, everything, and, because we really wanted to make that 90s edgy comic style kind of anime thing. It's also very French. A lot of French people say, "Oh, is that French?" I'm like, no. And I don't know. French people, this color palette maybe or something like that. They're like, this is like bande dessinée. No, not Rayman Legends. Come on. I mean like the French cyberpunk comics and stuff like that. This is just like not literally a trailer, just some preview of the stuff we're doing. So that's the visual part. This is the investment pitch. We don't need the investment pitch. We need this.
You mean about in terms of comics? I would say that yes, there is something close to current wave in France in comics.
Oops. Shit. How do I? Okay, you just click. So yeah, this is what I made for publishers. I've put American Gods, Berserk, and Mad Max. American Gods because character-driven. I'm really right now more of a fan of character-driven. Berserk in terms of the edge factor, and Mad Max in terms of the raunchiness of it, I guess. Anyway, those were good points. I maybe not be using these things as references, but when describing a project, it's nice to put something there that people can put in their head. Okay, it's a mix of that. You know, if I tell you meat with cheese, you will think of a taste, right? So it's kind of like that. This is not that interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The document that currently you are showing, in what context usually you use?
This
document?
one. So yeah. So this specific.
I think that would be interesting that would be interesting topic actually.
Sure. I have 2 versions of the similar presentation, and you talk to a publisher or someone, and you ask them a couple of tricky questions or side questions and see if they actually care about games or have played any. And then I have 2 presentations. This is one for people who care. So because it has stuff like mechanics. And,
Thank you.
And this one, because the other one has more numbers. The other one has more this kind of stuff like wish lists, fucking all of this, like schedules, budget, breakdown, you know, stuff like that. And this is something that they usually want or need because they're like, who are we selling this to? And people can approach like, oh, we're going to find the best circle and then we're going to make a game specifically so everyone plays it. Like, I really hate that approach. I really hate this, you know, like, I'm going to make a game that everyone is playing. I'm going to solve games. I'm like, why? Because like, okay, what if we make one movie that everyone is watching? Last time someone made a book that everyone's supposed to read, that didn't end well. That was probably, you know, the Bible or Mein Kampf in Germany. It's always bad when someone makes one of something, and that should be the thing. So I really don't like that. But you have to do this. You just have to realize what your project is and then put it, like, digest it for the publisher to, you know, figure out who they can sell it to, if you need money to make it. So yeah, that's the milestone plan. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Who knows these games? Who played these games? You probably did, right? Which ones? All of them. Okay, cool. By the way, who likes Disco Elysium? Play this for sure. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, so also this is what they need because they can also look at, put some numbers in their head or write in ChatGPT like what can this sell or something. Design pillars. So yeah, so this is probably more interesting, more to the art side. Freedom as a core concept that I talked about, and well, it has to be about freedom, like something. So it's not open world per se, but how we do levels is you can go left, you can go right, and you can solve that stuff differently and stuff like that. Yeah, and design pillars you need to put because you'll always be looking at them when designing your game. You can change them, they can change, that's fine. But it's also nice to look at them because you'll have to cut things. When making games, it's very easy to get a lot of cool ideas. Everyone has cool ideas, that's normal. The hard part will be because those cool ideas, they will be like in other art forms, like a statue. It's like a rock of very cool ideas. Now you have to chip away all the ideas you don't really need, right, to make the picture. And talking about that, what you mentioned about Disco Elysium not having combat or Jaws not having that many scenes with the shark it's something that also I'm a really big fan of, let's say, is that art should have a canvas and that canvas should be defined, whatever it is. You can cut the canvas in half, it doesn't mean the picture will be bad. But there has to be a canvas. If there's no canvas, people are going bleh, like this. Here's all my ideas. It's chaos. It's not, well, chaos is cool, but not in that sense. Maybe a bit more contained, because people will just not digest if it's pure chaos. Anyway, and mandala, right? We'll go over that. So it's a Buddhist myth, it's a Buddhist world, so of course I have to make the map because the Buddhist mandala, specifically this one, it's already a map. If you look at the studies of it, it's basically a map of the four kingdoms. Like, okay, well, there's a map. Now I just have to design like a video game map around that. With this, why I came to this in the first place, because I was thinking of how to design an alignment system for games or how to define characters' motivations in games. And I designed it using the Grimus square or the semiotic square. It's a math thing that puts opposite things like night and day, and then warm and hot, for example. And then you have warm day, hot day, blah, 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 blah. And these concepts, the opposite ones, will always be in conflict because they are truly opposite, but they will also have a connection to the other two concepts. And I was thinking, okay, well, what if I do characters based on that? What if I try to make a dynamic, because I think it's very cool how math and art are connected in many ways, in music and in animation and everything. And I think in story as well. You can, it sounds stupid, but you can math stories, I think very well. It still has to have soul in it, but you can math them. So I was thinking, okay, cool, so I'll design that. I started designing that, and the first stupid idea you might have when you're designing four evil bosses, you're like, okay, 4 horsemen, whatever, fuck it. So I put them on there, I tried to put them on the square and figure out what their personalities are, but I'm like, of course I'm not doing 4 horsemen, everyone fucking does 4 horsemen. And I was starting to look what other 4 entities are there in other mythologies and religions that could be interesting. I found this one, and I've read about the specific 4 wisdom kings at that point, and they fit so much with the psychological square that I established, or I'm like, oh my god, this fits so well, I have to do this. It's like a very cool coincidence that it worked, and that if you extrapolate all this Buddhist stuff on it, that math thing still works, because this is art that some people did, and this is a mythology some people did, but, and the Grimus square math equation or whatever, it's not directly connected, they didn't know about it, and I don't think the Grimus square, Grimus guy, he thought about the Buddhist thing, but they work together, and that's so interesting. So map, whatever, based on that. And then freedom of progression, of course, freedom, core concept, blah, blah. This is our progression system, the main one. And it allows the players to select where they need assistance or what kind of games they more like. So if you're like a platform player, you like to explore, you just focus on the top branch, which gives you dashes, double jumps, you know, wall jumps, whatever the hell you want. Or if you like fighting games or action games, all the new combos and special moves and cool stuff is on the right. If you like crazy, chaotic, experimental stuff, then faith. And mindfulness is for RPG play, because in mindfulness put all the interactions, all the stuff like connected, because we're trying to do like a simpler version of the Shadow of Mordor, you know, where it works. Like a simpler indie version of that, where enemies who kill you, they level up, you can then avenge yourself or whatever. Those interactions, and by the way, it's one of the examples of those interactions when you kill someone. They are all in the mindfulness thing. So in a way, like this would allow the players to kind of play a different game if they want, like the freedom to select what you play. We're still thinking, well, of course, everyone will start upgrading other things, and then they will explore other aspects of the game. So that's kind of the approach. And yeah, all we don't do upgrades, it says no filler there, but we don't have these plus 5% fucking damage upgrades. They don't exist. This just unlocks mechanics. Because what I wanted to do, and what I think some good games have done, is instead of making a tutorial for everything, just make people unlock stuff. On tests that I have done just on expos, you know, showing the game, if you put the same exact text in a description of an upgrade and in a tutorial menu, no one's going to read the fucking tutorial menu. They're like, why? Like, it's just instruction manual. But if you put that thing in the description of an upgrade, like, oh, I bought that. I need to fucking know what I bought, you know. So it works very well. Yes?
But the condition of test could reflect when you are not in the condition of test. You know, like if you have the game you play, you know, at home, you know, like in
Do you read tutorials at home, seriously?
Yes.
I fucking skip everything.
Yes.
Why?
No, but depend the tutorials. I've seen that. Yes, you put. I don't know.
But I want to know if I play
what
an
do you
hour,
mean
I get my
what do you mean by tutorials? Because there is many games.
Read, like
giving,
for example, okay.
Sometimes
there's
the
how to play.
tutorials are in the game mechanics.
Yes, of course.
And,
yes, of course. Yes, exactly. And that's why in this
You
game
put
the
Zelda.
tutorial is in the game mechanics. You get upgrade points and you get tutorialized and you unlock these abilities. But in some games it's like I can send you a PDF if you want. It's fine. Yeah, I'll send you. What the fuck am I talking about? So anyway, did you have a question or?
No, it was more like you were on describing the aspect of the player and how the player is how to develop the immersion of the game and to not lose the.
Yeah, but you know, just also I'm currently answering Mario's question of what game I'm making. I'm still answering it. We could talk about this maybe, but more or less like at first it was developed as more of a pure combat game. Then we really wanted to add exploration and levels once we figured out how to do them nicely. So it was a way to, and we always planned these to be like cool combat abilities, but then we planned them to also be exploration and in Metroidvania fashion unlock new paths. But we want to try not to do Metroidvania where you have to go here, you unlock the double jump, then you go back, blah, blah, but no, you can go here, blah, blah, and pick this upgrade and then go somewhere else. In terms of things of how you can, well, that's pretty much it. Anyway, yeah, so what else? What's next? These are newer screenshots, by the way. This is how the game currently is. I'm trying to load this level in Unreal, but Unreal is crashing on this laptop for some reason. I'll try to. Maybe now it will work.
Guys, I have other questions, but please, like maybe if you, yes.
Yeah, go please.
Connected to what he said would be nice.
Yeah, anything really. We can.
Actually, as a developer, how would you see your game maybe in the future would be presented in a, let's say, like exhibition or a museum setting? How would you see it?
I would see it.
Do you
I would
see
see
it,
it.
and like how would you actually build something differently if it would be shown in a museum?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, I think if I would make a game for a museum, right, then it would be a game for a museum, right? It would be an experience that needs to be short, because you can't be in a museum for 20 plus hours or something. So this one, if you just put it like under glass, the cartridge or something, sure, but that's what you can do to a book. And I think museums can have, I don't think, but yeah, this one, I'm not sure if it's a museum experience, this one specifically, because you'll need time.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Will you stand for 4 hours and play in a museum?
There is exhibition that we've.
I'm just worried about that. I think a museum is where you go and you have like 50 games and you go like, oh, I have to look at this one. Okay,
No, the question is just about setup, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Then, yeah, of course. Would it convey the message in 5 minutes that you played? I don't know. Maybe the message of, oh, look at the cool anime guts flying or something. But
No, definitely what is complicated in the context of a museum is the tutorial.
yeah, also that. I guess. But I guess there are games that explain themselves, the good ones. And I guess there would be games that were more fit for a museum and less fit for a museum. Katamari is much better for a museum than Baldur's Gate 3. Like, what would you do in Baldur's Gate 3? You'll spend 2 hours creating your character first.
No, of course, there is display that games that are not firstly made
I would put both in a
to be
museum.
played in
but
museum, like it's for home use, or then you have games that are more developed for e-sport conditions, also, of course. But wanted to say that in museum, for example, so as well, of course, some games, some institutions are developing, like for example, I use again the example of MoMA or ZKM, where they have to modify, for example, controllers, or sometimes they have to design like a new device where people can play the game on it. So yes, just saying that it's just a question of setup, depends the context of the exhibition as well. It's the same question when there is, for example, video game conventions, how you give access to visitors to a game that is under development, or it's a presentation, it's supposed to be a short experience. So. But I don't think that the big problem is not about showing it in a museum. I don't think that it's...
I'm curious about...
yeah.
I'm curious about the studio behind it. Like, it sounds like a Japanese name or something.
Yeah. I mean,
it's also French.
Huh?
Like, it's French, French Japanese.
No, it's like an inside joke gone too far, I would say. And it's connected also to the fact that, you know, like there's anime about European Nights, and we're doing the reverse of that. We're European Nights doing Euro anime about Asia. And also it's connected to a big inside joke in history of how it came to be. It was also from Mishura in Russian, which means both Christmas decorations and bullshit. And people say that, for example, oh, it's just Mishura, it means it's just like whatever, it's like useless bullshit. And that's what someone called us once, and we're like, yeah, fuck you. We are, I guess. And then the Japanese part of it was I found the symbols, not the symbols, the kanji for them, and they meant my battle, which was great because it was like a battle for us, I would say, to prove ourselves in art. So it's like it's a layered inside joke that doesn't matter and just sounds okay. and the kanjis are cool.
Yeah, but probably I don't know, the Asian aesthetic of it is kind of like inspired by that, I think. It's very stylistic and it's kind of stylistic and flashy, and then there's like sort of, well, there were Asian symbols in there, but I don't think that they were like readable. Like
Sanskrit. No, it's Sanskrit actually. So if you look at, hold on, we don't use Japanese in the game. The game uses Sanskrit. We had a guy working with us who was in Holland, like a linguistics guy for Eastern and Asian languages. And it's using Sanskrit, and I'll show you, hold on.
oh, so it's like actually readable. Okay.
Yeah, it's readable, and this one, for example, hold on, no, that's the wrong player. So, fuck me. So here, it's actually readable. It's in Sanskrit, and it's verses from the prayer to Fudo, the central wisdom king, who is also the main character of the game. And this character hunts the main character down for shitty things he did, and these are unanswered prayers. So she wears a cape out of them, like, here's all your unanswered prayers, you motherfucker. In the game, for example, when you get upgrades, there's you know, like in Japanese temples, for example, you leave a little prayer with like a letter to Santa Claus that you leave on this what's it called, Town Hall Square in Tallinn. And you can look at some of the prayers that were addressed to you, well, not to you, but to Fudo, the character. And you can pick one of them, you have to burn the others. The ones you burn, they raise the difficulty. The ones you answer, they give you a power. So for example, oh great Fudo, the mountain is blocking the sun and my crops are dying and I can't feed my family. Split the mountain in half for me, blah, blah, blah. And if you pick that one, the belief of the people in Fudo unlocks his ability to summon a huge sword that can now break doors in the environment. So that's, and she wears the ones. And yeah, basically, I went to the side of the question, but yes, it's readable, but it's Sanskrit, it's not Japanese.
The style also kind of reminds me of Guilty Gear, and the death mechanics remind me of Hades, actually.
Yeah.
The main character reminds me of God of War with the rage thing he seems to have going on.
Yeah, sure. All of those are for sure inspirations. Guilty Gear for the visual style. We don't use an outline, but basically, yeah, like the idea is to be as close to something that almost looks 2D, you know. For example, the camera, we use a very narrow lens for the camera and put it very, very far away. So it's almost orthographic. It's not really orthographic. I tried to work in orthographic in another project, like Ori and the Blind Forest, for example, is made in an orthographic camera. It flattens everything. But this one, instead of completely flattening it, there's some perspective. But if I can make it work here, no, I can't. I don't know if I can. Hold on. If I can make it work here, I can show you an example. Another cool thing it creates, it auto-creates like a very retro parallax effect on the backgrounds, because you need to place them very far. But how they move against each other, it looks a little bit unnatural, but also makes it pretty cool. I'll see if I can. I don't usually work on this laptop, so it's kind of like pretty shit. But I'll see if I can. And also, like, hold on. Maybe show. Do you guys have questions? Because like I can, as you ask.
That's Unreal Engine, right?
Yes, this is Unreal Engine. This, by the way, is LDTK. We managed to make like a bridge. LDTK is a level design tool made by the Dead Cells creator. It's available. You can download it and you can put stuff here. But what we're doing here is we're prototyping levels with it. Sorry. Yeah, so this is the level that we'll be prototyping. It's super flat and you can immediately run around on it, but what I want to load is I want to load the visual part of it, and I think I have to disable this one. It's already disabled. Is this one? Change streaming, always load it. Change streaming, always load it. Then why is it not working? Where? Ah, okay, I know why it's not working. Hold on, the spawn point is somewhere in the S. But yeah, like look, like if you look at the level in 3D, it looks weird, right? There's stuff here, there's stuff there. It's like very broken, but there's no roof here, and there's stuff like the walls of this house are like at an angle like this. And you'll see why, because like I want the houses to be cool and artistic, right? But if I put it in a narrow flat lens, it just smooshes the walls like this, and it just becomes like a fucking drawn-on house. But I'll show you the effect. So everything is actually this, for example. It's supposed to be straight, but it's rotated, so you get a nice perspective on it. Let me find the Fudo spawner, and then hopefully I'll be able to fix this. Spawn manager. There it is. Okay, maybe if I put it here, Spudo point new. Where are you? Oh, it's here. Okay, great. This is what I need to move.
We see the
Sorry?
the Metroidvania part.
Yeah. No, but we just added this functionality. Like it really helps. It really helps quite a lot. There we go. But yeah, so the camera should not be here, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But as you see, the house, what's with the, wait, doesn't look as pretty as it should, wait, goddamn. Let me see, settings, I don't know, this seems fine. Anyway, whatever. It's just some kind of, but yeah, look, and now it doesn't, if it would be straight, these two lines would be connected, it wouldn't be so cool, but same with the house, so it looks a lot better like this, and you can see the parallax is a bit weird, it does look like an older game, and this, for example, feels very close when in fact it's very far away. It also allows me, when doing animations, to focus on, what? Oh shit. Anyway, it's broken. Allows me to focus on the silhouette a lot more, because I'll be very sure that it looks the same from every angle. What Guilty Gear does, by the way, is it rotates characters. If characters are further from the screen, they are slightly rotated. So they also want like the silhouette. If you have this kind of silhouette, it needs to look the same. But if we put it here and here, something like Street Fighter, they don't do it. But Guilty Gear does. It's very cool in that sense. Yeah. Fuck it. I can open some videos on Twitter maybe that can show that a little bit better. Questions? Let's talk about something. Are any of you doing any kind of games or trying to do something, come up with a story, anything like that? Someone does, but they're very shy, I don't want to say. Huh? You?
I have done some.
Yeah? What have you done?
Okay. Like, I have done a couple games. The first one that I made was a museum game.
Uh-huh.
And the second, like, when I say I may have made some games, I mean, like, fully done, not just prototypes.
Uh-huh.
Like, the others that I have done have remained at the very shallow stage.
Okay.
And the other one was the game that I made during a game jam with you as our mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
But you guys didn't submit, or I didn't see your submission.
No, we did submit.
Yeah?
But we had technical difficulties with the submission.
I see.
Later on, I can show you what the game was. But with the narrative, like only the second one we had narrative. But yeah.
For some reason this is cropped, but yeah, this is what was supposed to happen. This was supposed to go here, but the level is broken somehow. But yeah, so yeah, of course, these camera tricks and geometry tricks allow to create stuff that should not exist. It's all fake, right? Because we're not gonna get you. If photo mode, zoom, please, because if you zoom, I'm very happy for people to zoom. It looks sick if you zoom. It doesn't look like just pixels and stuff. It's very detailed models. But rotating, no, because everything is fucked. And some animations are crazy, because some animations they only make for one angle. If you look at them from the side, it's like this. But it looks very sick if you just look at it normally, like from the supposed angle. But yeah, the main thing, the cool thing that allows this look to happen is our main developer, Kirill. He finally, because before I was making all these pictures in Photoshop. For example, this one was in Photoshop. I just rendered, I was Photoshop, and I was like, can we please make this? I was making this in Photoshop, but only using render files. So theoretically, technically, it was achievable. But we just couldn't find, and in the end, he found a way to both separate colors and allow colors to mix, because this shouldn't be purple. This is purple because this is adding blue to it. In normal cell shading, you assign the color that will be the light or something. And he managed to make a very cool system where it falls dynamically on the characters, it falls here, it also mixes with the color. So yeah, super happy. But all of this, we had a budget for the game at first. Then after some time, it was canceled. We were kept with the game. Publisher was like, okay, it's going to be a risky year. We don't want to do anything. Just buy. And it was very bad because I'm a bum. I need money. But at the same time, it allowed us to. We were like, okay, if we're making the game now in these conditions, then at least we should A, have fun, and B, like treat it as our own art. Still working to get a publisher and to work full time and so on. But what it made is both gameplay and art-wise, it just was like immediately boosted because we did some things that we cared about and we wanted to make. Yeah. Yes.
You have a lot of details there, and it seems all so much. So I'd like to know, what was your very first step when you started making the game?
Very first step, I have a whole thing about specifically the character. I started with the character and started with the world and started with this Grimace Square idea that I was talking about, and just tried to build around that. If we're talking about character, hold on, let me go back to Google Drive and I'll find a little presentation that I did for character stuff.
To complete the question, maybe after answering this one, so Mishura Game is a developer team. Maybe it would be up to maybe present the team that you used to work. I mean, I know different people work, but maybe it would be nice to know who is doing what.
Yeah, we had that. Our website right now is down. I need to pay for it, but I will relaunch it. And before we had everyone's names listed there. And it's going to be best if, but yeah, if
first, don't lose
but by this example, I can tell who did what, for example. But this will hopefully answer your question with pictures, and I'll try to be fast. I was asked to do some lecture, like, okay, I'm going to gather all this concept art, how we made this guy. So. Start usually even for games and for everything, mood boards are great. You just visualize your idea, you mix and match, you create this puzzle, at least in your head, and it's good to convey ideas. So this was that for this character. Some inspirations, some very more concrete characters and references. What kind of world, this was for him. Bunch of research on Fudo, on the whole legend of these headless guys that have a torso in their head, not always headless. The cool thing about them that was discovered by Zhenya, who is our narrative designer, the main one. It's very obscure, all these legends, but the cool legend about them is one of these guys, and we put that in the main thing of the lore. They were basically punished and smacked on the head by Buddha so hard that their face went here, and this gave them internal hunger, because your mouth is here and your ass is there. There's no sustenance. So he cursed them with eternal hunger, and that's how they look. So in the world, in the game, like all the main characters, they are cursed by Buddha in that way, and they have eternal hunger. And it's also another form of prison. Limitation is, samsara, both a blessing, a wheel, but also a prison. You can't fucking get out of it. You're in an eternal cycle. And the whole thing about Buddhism, right, is how to get out of the wheel, right, how to obtain freedom. So that's why specifically Buddhist mythology for the exploration of freedom was interesting. Also very, very early stuff like this, where you just figure out how's it going to look, what are we going to aim for. For example, this one, in a way, the middle part was inspired by early 90s after Soviet Union fell. A lot of stuff came to us from everywhere, and also religion. Also Buddhism and all these grannies that are practicing like Taoism or something like that with books and no one really knows what they are about, this kind of slightly wrong view on what it truly is. So in a way that was also like a funny reverse of all these anime about medieval Europe that are bullshit but are so cool, because it's their view, it's different. Fudo in culture, just overall, like a lot of Yakuza like to tattoo this guy on. It's very, very popular deity in Japanese. He's more like this anti-hero kind of deity, so it was interesting to explore him. Anna, who was doing VFX, also doing some art like this, more comic-y. We made a whole document about the lore and creation of the world, and she made these nice pictures. This was just for the lecture. When you're designing a character, if you want to have a main character, it's also nice to do the clone army test. If it looks weird like Dante, then you have a main character. If it looks okay like Master Chief, then you have a character that is okay to have an army of. But definitely 100 Dantes look fucking weird, like compared to 100 Master Chiefs. Then another thing we did is, this is not the main character's design, this was for the enemy that you might have seen on the screenshots with the hair and everything. But this one I was doing, and the practice here is that you spend only 5 minutes on a silhouette. Not overthinking, you just spend 5 minutes, time, next silhouette, time, next silhouette, time, next silhouette. And, just make like fucking 20 of them in an hour and a half, and then look at them and like, okay, I can go this direction or that direction. In our case, we went in this direction first. And the result of that, this guy right here. Yeah, these guys. Got them. Yeah, this one and this one. Another important thing we decided is always to hide the head, because the head doesn't matter. Whoever is the head is a prisoner, and this face is the one that matters. So there's no two heads. Where was I? I was in the presentation. And where was the presentation? Here? There we go. Okay. Slideshow. Another thing I had for that, because that was specific character design lecture. I had a talk here about second-hand references that I really can do 2 hours talking about how bad second-hand references are, and they make shit like this that I don't enjoy. Silhouette, blah, blah. But yeah, rough ideas first. This was done by Vladimir, who was doing UI. Some were done by me, some were done by Misha, who was doing concept art. That was done by my friend, who is like an animator, who didn't work on the project, but in the beginning he was like, let's find the design here. The cool thing we came up with Vladimir here, and that was kept, is the cage helmet. And there will be story-based, eyes will appear behind it at some point, but not in the beginning of the game. It's when the player discovers, because we really want to make sure that in the end you realize that you are the player. We want you to be inside that armor. Even though Fudo is the main character, you are the eyes that are here, that will appear here. A bunch of not so good concepts by me, some better ones by Anna, that we made just figuring out what the costume is, and it was a bit more sci-fi, and there was one there somewhere that's like whatever, Jet Set Radio hip-hop version. And here, these I did, that one Anna did, that was great. I still use it as a profile pic. I did those. Just figuring out, and here we started honing, we're like, okay, we understand that we want the silhouette to be a triangle. We want him to be strong, but not strong like a square, and not strong like a triangle that's like this, you know, like a buff guy from the thing, but solid, right? So smaller, thinner upper thing, and really good legs to stand on, because that will make him a bit more of an underdog. If you make a guy like this, you don't want to root for him. He's already a triangle like this, you know, pointed downward. A triangle like this is more rootable, you know, it's a more charismatic shape, I think. Anna made some nice pictures, just figuring out, you know, making him a little bit, you know, more playing with the idea, closer to the final design. Well, it was the final concept, and then in 3D it was a whole journey. Figuring out anatomy, the pose from Guilty Gear as a testing. Anyway, figuring out hands, how we want to do hands, for example, in animating hands, and why they look a bit more, the poses that I did here, better than this shit, is just because you add this control that twists the palm. And it makes all the difference. It's the same hand, it's the same rig, but look at these and look at that. For example, the fist, right? This is the fist with this control, and this is the fist that is in, well, not modern games, but in PS3, PS2 era games, controls take memory to process. So like, it was just like this kind of stuff. It was bad. First animation test, I did the animation. Anna did the VFX on that. It was still a very rough early model, but we just wanted to figure out how he feels, how he moves, what is particular stuff that he can do, and so on. One of the first models, the 3D model, this is one of the first versions. A little bit got a little bit better here with the details. A lot of nerves and work were at how do we do the face. And in the end, you can model the face like this, but you have to model the face neutral if you want to animate it. If you model it like this, then even if he's frowning, it will always be like this kind of weird, kind of half-smiling frown. So in the end, so you can do. So this was done from a neutral face. You just put controls in there, and because you need him to emote differently. Figuring out the shader. Yeah. What else? More animation tests. Anyway, that's the process that you have for a character, at least that we had for a character. And he took a long time, but at the same time, yeah, he was like our main guy. The girl I showed here, she was also like a huge process because she's the second main character. She's the Virgil to his Dante, the Moriarty to his Holmes or whatever. Did I answer your question? Okay, cool. With gameplay, this went for a bunch of iterations. I think we always wanted to know that it should be an action game in 2D. And this comes back to, she left, to her question, the girl that left, is that the lore changed. It changed yesterday when I killed two main characters, like I said before, because we can't make them. But the lore changes along the way because sometimes you're like, actually this is more fun to play and it's more in line with the main message. But oh my God, in the lore it doesn't make sense. Just change the lore, it's okay. Because I think in games you still have to make sure that you balance, you understand that gameplay is also story. what you do in the game is also your experience in the game and the story that you tell yourself in your head as you're playing it. So yeah, when I need to change a game or change lore, I'll just change the game and I'll adapt the lore so it still makes sense. What else are we going to talk about?
The characters, like
Sure.
like in Guilty Gear and Hades, the characters are what almost make the game memorable, and
Yeah, they do.
yeah, I don't know anything about the side characters here, but the main character seems to, like I said, very God of War-esque, angry.
In the end, he's not. I think in terms of animation, maybe, but he's not Kratos at all. He's more like, I don't know, old Jesse Pinkman or something, if that makes sense. So definitely not Kratos. He's very like, you are the one that's like, like picking him up, like, okay, let's do one more thing, you should do work, you should redeem yourself. Like, no, fuck all of that, like, just let me be, and so on. And in terms of freedom and prison, you are his prison and he is your prison, and you guys need to figure that relationship out. And
So yes, like you said, triangle, not square.
yeah. More of because Kratos is a square, a triangle like this, or a square like this, or a fucking what's it in English? Trapezia. Yeah, trapezoid. Like that. That's Kratos, right? And this is definitely more of a thing like this. Because this girl is a square, even though she doesn't look like a square in terms of her main thing. She's definitely more of a square girl, and in her poses and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, Hades, man, Hades was definitely on the list of stuff to. How do I switch here? That we looked at. Some fun stuff is because like that's also a result of not having money. You can now I can fix those animations that I don't like so much, because in terms of silhouette I can do a whole lecture on silhouette and animation, but this one, for example, I think it's a huge improvement in terms of dynamics and everything. And you look at this one separately and it's fine, but no, this is way fucking better. Of course, we have squatting. Have to have squatting because we're an Eastern European vision of Buddhism. The squat, the Gopnik squat. Come on. Anyway, yeah, that's new movement testing and stuff. Anyway, what else should we talk about? Some games. What's everyone played recently? What did you play? Have you played something recently?
I just played a lot of Elden Ring.
What?
A lot of Elden Ring, like seamless go-up, and started from the start, the new game plus 10 and so on.
What? Oh, the Danger Ring?
Elden Ring.
Oh, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I started a new playthrough recently.
Yeah, I started as well.
I'm preparing for a DLC.
For the DLC, same.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
So that's mainly for me.
What build are you making right now?
Everything. I'm max level.
Oh, you're max level.
Yeah.
Okay. I just started on PlayStation because I played on PC before. Have you tried the permanent co-op build with people?
Yeah.
Fucking sick.
I just played it through.
Okay. It's sick. It's sick. It's great. Yeah, I wonder what the DLC will be. We'll see. I guess they said it's gonna be like not level dependent or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think you need to progress at some point to enter the
in terms of Elden Ring, like in this one, for example, we have because if you're showing freedom in prison, you need to show the worst representation of captivity. And in this world, dragons existed or exist still, but they are so immortal that even if you take them apart and put all their muscles like this on the wall, they will all still live. So dragons in this world are used as engines for cars and you know, mechanisms and pulleys and stuff like that. We have a few models, and in some places you can see them, but we need more money to make more dragons. But the idea is, yeah, that they are. What happens if you never fight for your freedom? If you always accept the new situation and get boiled like a little frog? That's the dragons in this world. They are now just like that, and I'm a motor now, you know, like. So that's a very Elden Ringy kind of Dark Soulsy part of the world, I guess. Because yeah, the body horror in Elden Ring is really cool. Anything else? What else do you play? You already said one cool game. That means already like it's nice. Not Fortnite immediately, you know.
It seems I will be next to
Sure.
Sea of Thieves, because we're trying now to find with my friends some games, so co-op more.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that.
Okay, I never played it, but I always see it everywhere. That's the more cartoony one, right? That's not the fucking Ubisoft one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put yourself into a canon and
Yeah. I saw gameplay of it quite a lot, but I guess, you know, need to find people to play with. I'm playing Persona 3 Reload right now, and replaying Resident Evil 4. And recently, what was the game? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, motherfucker. We finished that one recently. That was crazy. Anyway.
Which one?
Rebirth. They're making the whole remake of 7, right? And this is the second part, where they do a Schrodinger's character. Anyway, but very cool. And okay, whatever. I can start talking about the thoughts and my analysis of the ending and shit like that.
I'm playing with my brother on like Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, okay.
Rock
Okay,
and
it's about the
Stone.
dwarves. Yeah.
Okay. And it's pretty cool that they don't put monetization like in front of your face.
Mm-hmm.
You can just play in your with fun, and that's it.
Well, a lot of games do, but a lot of multiplayer ones, yeah, they do put monetization in your face. That's true. I guess.
I just played a quick game of Lego Brick Tales in VR, and that was really nice, cozy. Just sit on your couch and play with Legos in VR.
Nice. I played with my kid. He's only 2 or something, so there's the game called Noor, and it's basically a game. There's 20 foods, and you can pop them or cut them, or it's just like artsy, fartsy kind of food game. You will enjoy it, maybe. Noor. Yeah.
Recently I have played Ori and the Blind Forest, Dead Cells, and Minecraft.
Okay, cool. Oh, you've played Dead Cells now already. Great. You're prepared. Very cool.
I haven't played any games recently. I've been really busy, so.
That's okay. Do you have a favorite one?
I like playing Minecraft, and I really like playing Lethal Company, especially like with friends. That's been a fun experience.
Okay, cool.
I got a short hike as a gift and played it finally.
What's the second one you said?
A short hike.
Short hike, I know, yeah, but you said something else?
No, I just said a short hike, which I got as a gift, and I've seen playthroughs, and yeah, it's a lot more fun to play yourself.
Okay, short hike is fun. I played it.
Yeah, there's a lot of Animal Crossing inspired visuals in it, like recognizably so.
Yeah, well, true. What's up?
I just started to play Zelda Minish Cap.
Minish Cap, okay.
Advance.
Okay, cool. I opened 3DS recently too. I'm doing Shin Megami Tensei 4 right now. I'm on this crazy SMT trip. I played their games before, but now I'm like, I need to play all the SMT games.
I finished last week the Phantom Hourglass.
Ah,
on the DS.
okay. You're going for the Zeldas. I see.
And
cool.
Interesting.
Do you know the Genesis Zelda game? Have you played it? Beyond Oasis? Beyond Oasis?
Beyond the Oasis?
Yeah, do you know the Genesis game Beyond
No,
Oasis?
no.
It's like, it's not Zelda, but it's really Zelda-like. It's Sega's Zelda game. It's pretty cool. Beyond Oasis, it's called. It's like piratey Arab.
It's a pirate version.
No, it's a game called Beyond Oasis. It's just top down. You solve puzzles and you get weapons, and it's like Zelda, but it's for Genesis. Cool. How much time do we have, and what else can we do?
I think we made already a large topics, amount of topics, but maybe like if
it's been 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Maybe if you have questions.
Yeah, questions while I'm still here. Anything really.
Wait, more about the studio actually.
Sure, go on, please.
So it was a French studio, right?
No.
No. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Täitsa Eesti studio.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
What is your definition of a Russian? Am I a Russian to you? We have about half. About half. And we have Eric Kesa, who is also speaking Russian because he was born there for some reason. So he technically qualifies as a Russian speaker, I guess. But we have people from US, Italy, Turkey, fucking Holland, like I said, the linguistics guy, and he did some game design. Just from everywhere, really. Yeah. Taxes are crazy in Estonia, man. Like, it's very hard to hire people here. We were, but money runs out fast when you have to pay double the amount. Pay someone good salary and pay something on top, but yeah.
So you're like online or?
Yeah. Right now we're online. We had a studio here in Tallinn when there was funding for 2 years or so, close to Keskturk. But yeah, now we don't. Now it's all just online, and that's fine. I like it like that, to be honest.
Actually, I found you at InfoRegister already.
Okay, cool. I exist on InfoRegister, yes. You can even go down and exactly find the moment when the publisher quit, because there'll be like 50K per month, 50K per month, blah 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 blah, then fucking zero. Yeah. What else did you find on InfoRegister?
I doesn't check so much.
Okay, you can check some more. It's fine.
Just check out.
We have all our taxes submitted and counted.
Yeah, I checked it out.
Okay, good.
I think there was some cognitive dissonance going on in my brain because it doesn't look like an Estonian studio. It's like it doesn't look like it. So I don't know. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's fine. that's okay. But
what does it mean? To
I assure you,
Estonian?
I was born here, and I lived here all my life almost.
Yes, I don't know.
But yeah, we're trying to do Estonian Guilty Gear, man. Come on, it's very cool.
I'm French.
Yeah, you're French.
I know.
Really?
You're French.
We didn't notice.
Yeah. But no, yeah, all the main art assets and style and visual, everything is done here. For coding, now, yes, when Eric is working, but before we didn't find any Unreal people in Estonia, so we were looking all over the place. We had someone from Ukraine, from Belarus, one guy from Russia. That's kind of problematic for a while now. But yeah, there's just people from all over the place, I would say. But the main, the VFX was done, all the, the flames you see there and the dust, it was done by a girl who studied here in, I think also in ECA, in the animation. Does ECA have the animation department?
It's on the same floor.
Yeah, she studied here in the animation department. I tried to study here in the animation department, but they didn't take me, but I did all the character animations and everything. And I also do here light setup and stuff like that. And well, I don't know if because if I say thank you for the compliment, then it would be like offensive to Estonia, right? But thank you first for noticing that it's I guess unique for Estonia.
What do you think about? Have you played other Estonian games that are
Yeah.
made in Estonia?
Yeah, I played Death in Texas.
Okay.
The whole way through. I played Disco Elysium, of course. I played Haiku the Robot. I guess it's an Estonian game. It was developed on the territory of Estonia, even though the guy is British. But that one.
What about the latest game?
I played Sky Roads.
Okay. What about the latest
That's an
game?
Estonian game, right? The what, sorry?
What about the latest game, the Buckshot?
Buckshot, I have not played it yet. I really want to play it, but I need to, I guess, buy it and play it. I mostly play on console. Yeah, it's €3 It's crazy, like the price they chose for that. I think it can be worth more. But I watched videos, and for me, like when I watched it, I was like, well, I didn't know exactly what the gameplay was. But to me, it felt so close to Inscription, which I completed like very recently, in terms of style. And I'm like, oh, this is like Inscription. I had enough Inscription for now. I know it's different, so I'll try it for sure. I haven't tried it yet. Have you played it?
No, I haven't. I have to watch videos on it.
Okay. Well, I think it's more of like an experience game. So I don't want to watch it specifically for that reason, so I can have that first experience with it. But yeah, I think it's cool, and I think great job that he did it, and that I think it's very successful now, right?
It is Estonia?
Yeah, Buckshot Roulette is 100% Estonian. It's
Yes.
Mike Klubnik. Yeah.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah. It's Estonian. There's Estonian games, and like one game I played on PC quite a lot was this Sky Roads, the racing game that the. Huh? Yeah, it's also Estonian. Yeah. And I heard recently they starting to make another something based on Kalevipoeg, but I'm like, give me Kalevipoeg, I'll do fucking anime Kalevipoeg. Why are people like giving to someone else? Like I'm talking about it for a while, like fucking kaiju battles with Kalevipoeg. Yeah. Any other games? Any games I missed? There's a bunch. Huh? Teleglitch. No, I haven't played it. I know it's from here, right? I know. Yeah. I know of Teleglitch, and but I haven't played it yet, honestly. Will I at this point? It's so old now. I think. Yeah. There were others. Hold on. Mick Luige is making some cool stuff. He made the space game, and now he's making the little retro racing game. There's also this Italian guy who's making a whole bunch of games from Tallinn, Nicola. He started doing narrative lectures in minor now as well.
What about VR?
VR?
Yes.
I don't know, like not a fan of VR for myself.
Okay.
I know Maro VR exists, and they made the pirate game.
Yes.
I was with Rein in the hotel, so we did talk about it when we went to GDC and PAX. Yeah, it exists, but VR is like, I don't know, not for me.
Okay.
I get motion sick in a car, so like, I tried what the fuck was it called? No Man's Sky in VR. That was pretty cool, but then I'm like, okay, this is cool. 15 minutes have passed. Now can I play with normally, please? That's kind of. But it was very cool in the cabin and everything. But at the same time, the visuals are a little bit. I think maybe in 10 years, or when I'm in a retirement home, I will play VR. That will be better. My head will not hurt from it, and the fucking helmet will not be huge and everything.
No Man's Sky wasn't really built for VR.
Yeah, no, I played Beat Saber on VR. I played the other game where you have the shield and the gun in VR. But my most impressive experience was No Man's Sky, because I played it at the time, and I said, "Oh, you can play it in VR. Try it." And I'm like, "That's cool." I really want to find. Maybe you have here PlayStation VR. I want to play Resident Evil 4 in VR. That would be sick. But
in museum, you have PlayStation VR.
You can play it on Quest 2 as well.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. And you just connect, it just works?
No, yeah, it's like it works on the standalone headset. You don't need a computer for that.
No, I mean on the PlayStation specifically.
PlayStation 1, I don't know if it's, do they
Okay.
have Resident Evil 4?
They do. No, they do. I have it. They have VR mode. And
Village has a VR mode.
No, the entire game is now in VR.
4
You can play.
yes.
Yeah, 4. I'm talking about 4 specifically. 4 remake, of course. Okay. I'm sorry, gentlemen with the notes. You think you had another question and we kind of ignored you? No? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was good to talk about
stuff.
All that topics, all that stuff. Glad that we had like an active group today. And so just let's follow evolution of the game in time, and maybe you could share some of information.
Yeah, go to Steam, wishlist, and there will be a demo in August, so you can try it out. Steam, hold on, let me find it. Immortal. I need to do something about this Harry Potter subtitle. I like it, but at the same time, like, do you know why it's called like that? Because of Steam algorithm. Like because the first chapter was supposed to be called like that. And, but I want it to be like Doom, Immortal, you know, just one word. But if you put it like that, and Steam search is very bad with it, so you need like marketers and a publisher to promote that. But yeah, you can wishlist on Steam if you want. If you don't, then don't. And yeah. Demo will be in August, and yeah, for now we're just grinding that out. Bam. Take it off. Nice. Bam. Thank you.